On August 2nd, 1914, the world was falling into the deadliest war it had ever seen. And on that exact day, a quiet insurance clerk in Prague opened his diary and wrote one of the most famous lines anyone has ever journaled. He wrote, basically, Germany has declared war on Russia. Swimming in the afternoon. That's it. World War in one sentence, swimming in the next. No transition, no drama. And weirdly, that little entry tells you almost everything about why Franz Kafka's diaries became one of the greatest journals ever written. Today I'm going to show you how to journal like Kafka. Not the depressing parts, the technique, because once you see what he was actually doing, you can never go back to Dear Diary, today was fine. Quick context, because it changes how you read everything. Kafka kept diaries for about 13 years. He wasn't writing them to be published. In fact, the opposite. When he was dying, he begged his closest friend, Max Brod, to burn everything. The diaries, the unfinished novels, all of it. Brod refused, and that betrayal is the only reason we have any of this. So sit with that for a second. The most honest journal in literary history exists because its author was certain no one would ever read it. That's not a footnote. That's the whole secret. We'll come back to it. Here's what I want to do. Pull out 5 things Kafka actually did on the page and turn each one into something you can use tonight. Let's go. Technique 1. Most people use a journal as a log. Woke up, went to work, had pasta, tired. That's not journaling, that's a receipt. Kafka almost never did that. What he did instead was observe. He'd take one small thing, the way a man held his coat on the tram, the sound in a hallway, the exact shape of his own exhaustion, and he'd describe it until it became strange and alive. He treated his own life as raw material, the way a painter treats a bowl of fruit. Here's the shift. Don't ask, what did I do today? Ask, what did I notice today? Then pick one thing and describe it for 5 sentences longer than feels reasonable. Don't summarize it, render it. That single move turns your journal from a status update into a place where you actually see your life instead of just surviving it. Technique 2, and this is the war and swimming line. The juxtaposition trick. Kafka would put the enormous right next to the trivial flat with no ranking. A world war and an afternoon swim, same sentence, same weight. And it sounds careless, but it's actually the most honest thing about it, because that is exactly how life feels from the inside. The day your heart breaks, you still get hungry. The week everything changes, you still lose your keys. Most journaling lies about this. It pretends our days have one tidy theme. Kafka's didn't. He let the big thing and the small thing sit side by side, and the gap between them, that's where the truth leaks out. So try it. End an entry with 2 sentences that don't belong together. The huge thing you're carrying and the dumb small thing that also happened. Don't connect them. Let the reader, even if the reader is just future you, feel the distance. Technique 3. This is the one that made him a genius instead of just a good diarist. Kafka didn't keep his real life and his made-up stories in separate boxes. His diary is a chaos of both. One paragraph is a real argument with his father. The next is a half-finished story about a man who can't get through a door. A dream gets written down as if it happened. A real event gets twisted until it turns into fiction. The line between what happened and what he imagined basically dissolves. For him, the journal wasn't a record, it was a laboratory, a place to try things, to follow a thought past the edge of the truth and see where it goes. You can steal this directly. When something real happens, don't just report it, exaggerate it into a story. Write the version where your annoying boss is a literal monster. Write the dream you had as if it were a news report. You're not lying to yourself. You're using your life as fuel for your imagination, and you'll find things in there you'd never reach by being literal. Technique 4. Remember he wanted it all destroyed? Here's why that matters for you. The reason Kafka's diary is so devastatingly honest is that he was writing for an audience of 0. He wasn't performing wisdom. He wasn't crafting quotes for anyone. He wrote about his own body, his failures, his cruelty, his fear, with a brutality you only allow yourself when you are completely certain no one is watching. And this is the trap almost everyone falls into now. We journal like someone might read it. We curate. We round ourselves up. We write the version that would look okay if it leaked. So here's the rule. Write to burn. Write the entry you would only ever write if you knew for a fact it would be destroyed the second you finished. The ugly thought. The thing you can't say out loud. That's the only place the real material lives. You don't have to actually burn it, but you have to write as if you will. Technique 5, and this one's a relief. Permission to be a fragment. We think a journal entry has to be a complete, tidy paragraph. Kafka's diaries are full of wreckage, a single line, an image with no context, a sentence that just stops, half a thought he never finished. He didn't force every entry to resolve, because real thinking doesn't resolve, it gathers. So if all you've got tonight is one strange sentence, write the one strange sentence. A fragment honestly caught beats a paragraph politely faked. Some of the most haunting things he ever wrote are 8 words long and go nowhere. That's allowed. That's the form. Let me pull this together because it's bigger than 5 tricks. For Kafka, writing wasn't productivity. It wasn't self-improvement. It was closer to survival, the thing that let him keep existing inside a life that often felt unbearable. He once described writing as a kind of prayer, not a performance, a way of staying alive on the page. And I think that's what we've lost. We've turned journaling into another optimization task. Gratitude lists, habit trackers, 5-minute templates. All fine, but Kafka reminds you that a journal can be something far older and far stranger. The one place you tell the complete truth badly to no one and come out the other side a little more real. So that's how you journal like Kafka. Observe instead of log. Put the huge thing next to the small thing. Blur your life into fiction. Write to burn. And let yourself be a fragment. Tonight, open whatever you write in and try just the first one. Describe one thing you noticed today until it gets strange. That's the whole assignment. If you want, I'll do a follow-up on journaling like other writers. Sylvia Plath, Anais Nin, Joan Didion. Tell me in the comments who you'd steal from. Now go write the entry you'd be afraid to leave behind.